for SketchUp. The goal of this lesson is to understand how the lights work in V-Ray for SketchUp. These lights will simulate what in real life, in photography, are banks of light. Useful to create a soft and diffuse illumination all over the scene. To keep up the practice, start creating a generic material and apply it on the entire scene. Remember, the median grey for SketchUp is 186 in RGB values. Let's set a view that will become our V-Ray camera. Now go to Asset, Editor, Settings, Camera, and set up the camera settings for our scene, taking into account those parameters for interiors. Given that this must be a neutral environment, we should turn off the slide that is added automatically at the moment of opening a new file. To do this, turn it off from the list of lights category and then go to Environment, it's the equivalent of F8 in 3ds Max, and disable it to get our ambience free of V-Ray exterior lights. Now, we start to position the lights. Create a rectangular light. By the way, in 3ds Max we can change the dimensions of the lights that we insert in the scene, but in SketchUp we don't have this option. So we have to do this manually, or draw a rectangular shape with the respective tool and input the dimensions required. Then trace the shape with a rectangular light. For example, I'll create a light whose dimensions are 1 meter by 1 meter. Let's position the light over our object. You can scale the light as long as you have units assigned, just like watts. In this way, the light intensity remains constant. Otherwise, if you do this without units assigned, the light will be affected and we won't have any control on this. Adjust the light intensity to 200 watts. Let's load the test configuration we created in Lesson 2 and click Render. As you can see, the image looks a little underexposed. To fix the general appearance of brightness, we have two choices. 1. Increase the light intensity, or 2. Adjust the exposure time from the V-Ray camera settings, shutter speed. Follow the principles of 5SRW method. Given that we're under a condition of artificial illumination in the scene, the first thing to do is set the shutter speed to 50. After that, we can increase the light intensity just if necessary. A value of 200 in shutter speed is correct in exterior scenes, where we get a huge amount of natural light. But when we're in spaces where we only work with artificial lighting, it's better to set the shutter speed to 50. This value is considered reliable, bringing a medium quality. Okay, the image looks better, but still needs a bit more brightness. Increase the light intensity from 300 to 500 watts. That looks perfect. In V-Ray for SketchUp, we no longer have Store with a Radiance Map option. However, the calculation of shadows doesn't limit the rendering time because of the excellent response of Progressive mode. This isn't a topic to worry about. As in real life, V-Ray can simulate a white light as neutral. The warm light will be reddish, or the cold light will be bluish. To get a colour temperature in our lights, we must set the RGB values according to each temperature. At the moment, there's no way to set this automatically with temperatures like 3500 Kelvin degrees or 7000 Kelvin degrees, just like in 3ds Max. To do this in SketchUp, you can see the chart attached to this lesson. In order to make your lights warmer or colder, depending on what you need. Let's assign to this light a temperature of 4000 Kelvin degrees as an example. Then do it with 7000 Kelvin degrees. The size of the light isn't important right now, but you must know that, as in reality, a little light will produce sharper shadows. while a big light will produce softer shadows. Here we can see a quick comparison between the shadows. Now I will show you the difference between keeping units assigned like default versus watts. You've seen the importance to maintain our lights with real units. They will be coherent in size and intensity, changing only the sharpness of the projected shadows. This won't happen with default units. So far we've been using the production render with test quality. Let's load the final settings. We're going to use a powerful tool, vray, known as Interactive Render. Here you can change the color temperature, light intensity, even moving the camera, and you'll get fast feedback. In this mode, you can render either with CPU or your graphics card. By activating GPU slot in Asset Editor, Settings, Renderer. GPU works with both progressive and interactive mode. With interactive render and a powerful processor or graphics card, all the calculation process will be faster. See you in the next lesson.